Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good day. It is Twisted Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. This is the daily frame coming in with less than 1 minute to the open here in New York. We have new all-time highs just a few minutes ago here, guys, on the NASDAQ and the S&P, not quite on the Dow. Up day bullish body, inside day bullish body on the Dow. This is my trading grid, guys, the daily, the 30 and the 1 minute chart, sometimes a 30-second chart if the market's moving very quickly, always reading from left to right, from the biggest picture into the medium picture and then to the small picture. I call this the tide and the waves and the ripples of the ocean. The tide is stronger than the waves and the waves are stronger than the ripples. I hope that makes sense in the context of multiple time frame analysis. There's the 1 minute open range, guys. We're looking at about 21 points on the NASDAQ, fairly small actually, and on the S&P, give or take 4.75. Resting a little bit after this big pre-market run-up. You see that there? A little celebration of some sort way beyond 2 standard deviations on VWAP, and now back in line at 1 standard deviation. But we did push to all-time highs just a few minutes ago on the NASDAQ and the S&P. 30-minute zones, guys, support and resistance, simple stuff. A child could do this. There's the all-time high from yesterday. This is Asia, Europe, and New York from yesterday, those 3 colored backgrounds. Asia, Europe this morning, right? London session, which is still open, by the way, as you know. It's going to move that zone marker up to those 2 equal body tops, just for something to look at. Opening 30-minute candle here on New York. There's that big extended run up here on the 1 minute chart, guys, pulling back into the pre-market. And now we have the New York open. I'm going to be very patient here this morning. There's the Asian open range and the London open range and this giant push up into the New York open range. Nothing for me to do here. So even though the Europeans pushed the NASDAQ, a US index, up to all-time highs, so far the North Americans are just kind of sitting here saying, we're not going to continue this party yet. I want to think about this for a bit. S&P pushing up just a little bit here though. If I do anything here today, I want to see alignment between these two, agreement. Sometimes I'll trade divergence, but in this market, after this big extended move at all-time highs or near all-time highs for both of these, I really want to see synchronicity before making any decisions here today. And I certainly won't be rushing anything after this extended move. It will be very difficult for me to short into this move, and it will be difficult for me to go long into this extended move. And so it's a little tricky situation here, for me at the very least. And trying to push up here, guys. I won't be doing anything until we get some confirmation beyond these 2 body tops, really all 3 body tops. This 1 resting candle is not enough for me after this move. Remember, this whole move was done by the Europeans. The North Americans had no part in that. Very lackluster here, guys. This morning we are back inside the open range here on both the NASDAQ and the S&P. The S&P still inside the open range here, guys. Nothing for me to do, obviously. I can safely say that my dynamic open range will include this, and of course that little piece down there for now. In fact, I'm going to use this as the bottom of my range, so the bottom of that candle. Just like that. So as long as we're inside of this dynamic open range, I'll just keep you on pause. All right, guys, it's 10:25, nothing going on here. S&P actually dropping down here, fairly clean price action now after the initial grind, but nothing happening here on the NASDAQ, still inside the open range. And so I'm just going to sit and watch for a bit, but looking very much like the second no trade day in a row here for me on this Tuesday. Just adjusting my dynamic open range to incorporate that little piece. All right, guys, just watching this rounding behavior. Deleting my dynamic open range here for a moment. Sell stop order, guys, right now. Stop above this pivot. And I'm in, guys. I am in. It's a 27-point stop. Probably going to get a pullback here. And there's the opportunity right there. I know you're not watching live, but I always like to show the entry as it happens. 27-point stop. Short the NASDAQ here, guys. Right back into the Asian open range. Finally resolving with a nice shift candle here, guys, after pulling back into the open range, dropping down below. And now it's the waiting game, guys. Notice the shift all of a sudden. First signs of life all session. I'm going to delete the Asian open range now, keep things nice and clean, and the London open range, of course. But you saw where those were. Very quickly, notice how the S&P is leading the charge here, guys, below 1 standard deviation already to the downside on VWAP. Here we go. This is just a continuation zone, guys, from London. I'm not concerned about it. In fact, I'm going to take it out. It's not a rejection zone. This is a much stronger zone than this is. This is just one down candle, and this is an up candle, of course. So just to be clear, guys, I had no interest in shorts anywhere through here. Obviously no opportunities for shorts either until we had this one shift down and then this pull back, 9 squeezing into the 21, and then this quick and sudden shift candle right on cue here, guys, as this new 30-minute candle formed and broke the prior 30-minute candle low. This was key, and of course being back in the span of travel on the daily. Still no guarantees here, guys, as you can see. Now, I will tell you that typically when I fade against the daily candle, in other words, going short like I am today against an up day with a bullish body, I will typically have my stop on the other side of the open range. But that's especially true if I'm taking an early market open play. This is not an early market open play. We've had plenty of time for a tug of war and a battle between the bulls and the bears, the longs and the shorts, and the good and evil to resolve this thing and then decide what direction is going to win out or is most likely to win out. And so I don't need to be that conservative, just above there. Instead, I'm above this very important pivot with beautifully stacked EMAs and EMAs leaving the open range. And target 1 has been hit, guys, and so the 1R all or nothing trader has left the game with full profits, and the 2R move stop to break even at 1R has moved their stop to break even because we hit 1R. Now we'll wait and see what happens to the rest of this trade. In case you're wondering why I'm short here, guys, well, we hit all-time highs here in Europe. The Europeans pushed this market up into all-time highs. The North Americans came in, battled it out a little bit and said, nope, we're going lower. Took this thing lower, broke down here, broke down here. I entered on this breakdown below this candle and this big last kind of climactic up candle in the London session. Little tiny body is now flipping bearish, of course, down here, pulling back into the span of travel. This big tug of war gave me the confidence on the shift down and break down below the open range, 9 below 21, and both EMAs exiting the open range. Full support from the S&P that actually led the charge lower into the 1 standard deviation of VWAP, and weakness across the board supported also by the Dow Industrial Average. And so I'm forever saying, guys, in the rampaging bull market, we need to be bullish. That doesn't mean we can't take day trades that are on the short side. Because all-time highs are also vulnerable times, especially if the all-time high is issued by the non-primary market. The NASDAQ and ES are American indices. The Europeans bid them up. The North Americans said no. We've seen that quite a lot lately, as you know from my prior videos if you watch them. And target 2 has been hit, guys, and so the 1.5 hour all or nothing trader has left the game as well. And there it is, guys. All four models fully profitable. Had to be super patient on this to wait for the tug of war to play out. But after that, smooth sailing. Thanks for joining me today, guys, for Twisted Tuesday. Hope you have an amazing afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow for some more fun and games. Take care.